How are you guys doing tonight? I'm doing a quick check in, meaning I'm checking in on everyone. I haven't been posting. I didn't post, uh, I think, all day yesterday. I really wanted to use this time to sort of like reflect and, um, I guess, meditate on um, on what's been happening and I guess also connecting it to my my spiritual my spirituality. So, but tonight, after the announcement of our quarantine extension again for another 2 weeks, I just felt like a contraction. Ibig sabihin, like I felt like um, there was a tightening of energy. I'll just use the word energy. Ibig sabihin, people are feeling anxious and fearful and worried and angry and just hopeless. And it sort of like got me reflecting on a lot of things, especially, and I wanted to share that while you guys are checking in, especially dun sa last year na nangyari where I think so many of us were when this pandemic hit. Like it was the first time like something like this hit us ever in our lifetime, and and a lot of us like didn't know what to do. But last year, if you remember, I mean, all over the world. This is just not just in one country. That's what was amazing about this last year. And we were all going online concerts, and Facebook Live blew up, and everyone started doing interviews and and working from home and adjusting. And now 1 year after, to be in this situation and to be in a much worse situation. I actually got off a call with a friend who was diagnosed. It just got better after being hit with the virus. And my half sister, who is still in quarantine, but they're okay. So everyone is okay. But I can't say that for a lot of other people, and that's why I wanted to do this quick live tonight. I think madami sa atin, like we are. I'm talking about myself also. Many of us still get into this very reactive state, and I'm not judging. I still do, but I am really reminding us na. Well, if you want to go visit my podcast, I just posted something on my podcast tonight. It was an exercise on inviting a little peace and calm in your life, and it was so good. Very short, but I really felt I felt calm, I felt relaxed, and it just reminded me again that when you're not breathing properly, or in a way where you are when I say properly, meaning you're using your belly, your tummy, you're inhaling and your belly expands, and as you're exhaling, your belly falls. Chances are you're breathing in a very stressed state. Parang pag nakikipag-away ka or you're running away, which I think a lot of us are being fed a lot of fear again. I mean, legit, I get it. And it's confusing also because while there are a lot of people saying that they're not being admitted to hospitals anymore and they're going around, there's still also a quite a number of people who are saying this is just all still a hoax and it's not real, and that triggers a lot of people. I think both people are triggered with seeing that. I think here in the Philippines, and I'm just giving stats, but you can check it yourself. I think it's a 1% death rate, versus the rest of the world, which I think is 2% death rate. But again, not to say to make this situation any lighter, right? But I am saying that I think that that's what the numbers are saying. So yun pa lang, once you get into this divide and this push and pull between people, it creates more stress, and a lot of people are getting more stressed with this divide. Like we're so angry with people going out. At the same time, you also don't understand what people are going through at home, where there's child abuse, there's spousal abuse, there's depression. It's always easy to judge. I mean, we're judging people for being so afraid, and then we're judging people for going out and trying to, trying to live their lives. And it's very difficult to stay somewhere in the middle, because people don't know exactly what we're going through. So I think I wanted to just share this really quick. Hi, Gerald and Elizabeth. Thanks for listening. Um, in the hopes that if you are that person tonight who's feeling anxious and worried and angry and frustrated again, um, I do hope that there is something that you, I won't even say do, but you can be, to remind you of. I mean, it's Holy Week. I think like every year we remember the life of Christ and his sacrifice and his work, and I think this also reminds all of us of our own deaths. But I think what's really happening is like this great avoidance. I'm gonna sound just a little bit weird. This like great avoidance of death, and I understand like no one wants to die now, but no one wants to get sick and go through all these things. But but there's also the flip side, where the only story that pops up for me, and it's popping up just now, is when, since it's Holy Week, when Jesus was in a boat with his disciples. They were fishing, and then they were suddenly hit by a squall. There was like this huge storm that hit their boat, and everyone was like panicking. And like, can you imagine being in the middle of the sea and you're hit with a really really bad storm, and you're just in this like wooden boat, and people were crying like, God, Lord, we're gonna drown, whatever, we're gonna die, parang katapusan na natin. And of course people were freaking out and panicking. And what's interesting about that story is that Jesus was sleeping. He was sleeping. I've always thought about that, when everyone is, it's such a, how can I say it? Like a such a human thing to do, a natural human thing to do, to be asleep, but in the middle of a storm where everyone else is panicking. And that just reminded me, an analogy or metaphor of a story where today a lot of us are panicking and fearful and angry. And I can see us as, and again, I'm just sharing my experience, and I know a lot of people legit are afraid and angry and frustrated. But I am seeing myself, I'll speak about myself, I am seeing myself as one of those disciples who's always freaking out, like we don't have enough, we're gonna die, we're gonna get sick, we're not gonna be able to do this and do that. And then I see Jesus sleeping. It kind of makes me laugh. He's like, and then he's sort of like, I can imagine him like, it's so noisy. But I don't even know how he can sleep through a storm. Naisip niyo na ba yun? Hi, Suzette. Thanks for being here. It's funny, Suzette. I know you're from Laika, I think, right? As I was going through your, I think she is. As I was going through yung ano mo, yung profile mo, I literally dreamt about that. As I was going through like your profile, I remember like, wow, like if that's you, I'm not sure if that's even you, but I followed you. I'm like, wow, I dreamt about this. It's parang deja vu, right? Anyway, going back to my story, parang Jesus is sleeping, and we're all screaming, we're all shouting, we're all panicking, we're all gonna die. And then he sort of like wakes up. Maybe ano pa siya, he stretched a little bit, and then maybe he's looking around, like maybe he's yawning and like, what's the problem, what's up? And everyone's saying like, the boat is gonna sink, the storm is. And then he, I guess, nonchalantly, if that's a word, he gets up, and then he sort of like walks very calmly to the bow or whichever part of that boat, and then he just speaks to the waves, and he speaks to the storm, and everything just quiets down. And I'm like, wow, what a great, I know that's not a story we focus on like during Holy Week, but that's what came up for me tonight. And I'm like, wow. And everyone is like in shock. But this makes me reflect on one thing. It makes me reflect on, if you're listening to this tonight, what is it in your life that you're treating as a storm? And I'm saying it's legit. I know it. It's finances. It's told you, my friends and my family, some of my family members are sick, right? So I'm not saying this as someone who's not directly affected by this, And well, if you're going through a storm today, tonight, it could be just about your value as a human being, or your work, or um, a relationship challenge or issue, money. I don't know what it is. Your spirituality, your purpose. What if? And again, I respect whatever beliefs you guys have here. What if there was like maybe Jesus or whoever it is that you worship, and they would just say, like, calm down, relax, like, I got this, relax, calm down, and this being starts speaking, and everything just settles down. And then you realize, like, it's a great metaphor sa akin, like, where so many areas in our lives parang magulo, like we don't know, like, Lord, we're gonna die, or I remember going through this when I was in and out of the hospital like 13 years ago. And if I could only listen then, and the message was, bam, relax, calm down. But many of you who are listening to this, and I know a lot of you have been messaging me, a lot of you can't stop thinking. Have you guys experienced that? Like, there's just always one thought and another thought and another thought. And madaming thoughts na naiisip nyo, it makes you panic. It makes you freak out because you can't calm down, You can't calm down. But now, this is what I've been studying also. Like, you're not just panicking because it's in your head, but for many of you, na memorize yun na yung body. There's this great book called The Body Keeps the Score. And it's literally your trauma and your fear has been memorized by your body. You don't even have to think about it. But the problem is, minsan we get mixed up already. Is it my thoughts or is it my body? Is it my body or is it my thoughts or is it both? And we're constantly going through the body, fear, through with our thoughts, more fear. And hindi natin alam, like, how to calm it down. So, if you could listen to the podcast today, I did a breathing exercise. And as I was going through it, I'm like, take a breath. I literally started calming down. And it made me just focus just a little bit. I know, and I'll speak for myself, I know on the outside it's like stormy and scary. And I can be triggered to fear again. And a lot of you, you're not even afraid of yourself. You're afraid for your parents. You're afraid for your children. You're afraid for your husband or wife or your grandparents, diba? It's not even you you're thinking about, but you're so concerned about so many other people. And so I think that's the metaphor is the storm. We all have our version of the storm. So maybe I'll end with a prayer, like my hope and my prayer and I'll post this on YouTube as well. My hope and my prayer for anyone listening to this tonight, especially it's Black Saturday, Holy Week, just before Easter, something to reflect on. Like, what is it in your life today or the past years that you automatically go into a panic, into fear? Asking myself this question as well, but also maybe to remember, where were those times when God showed up for you, when God provided for you. I'm not just talking about finances. I'm talking about encouragement. I'm talking about opportunities. I'm talking about help. I'm talking about support. And maybe as you're thinking about that tonight, as I'll wrap this up, sabi mo, like, oh nga, no, like, those times that I felt I was alone, I was never alone. There was always someone or something. Could be someone from your family, could be a friend, and I don't know, someone. But there was always someone who was always there during that time somehow. Or it was a quote or a scripture or some audio like this that you stumbled upon, right? A lot of people have been sharing that to me, like, oh, I just heard your podcast on Facebook and it's really helped me. You don't know me. I mean, I have people from Hawaii, from Europe, like, listening to this, and I'm like, this is amazing. And I'm also thinking reverse. If I was the one going through fear tonight, and I still do, like, I still have those battles, and I hear someone speaking, like, or sharing a story like this, for me, it ignites my faith. It helps me. It helps me because I have now a picture of someone, or at least an idea that not everyone is panicking, not everyone is rushing. Remember all the toilet paper last year? Literally, like, we go into the fear mode and fight or flight mode, but reminders like this to remind you, like, hey, you don't always have to be in that state. You don't always have to be in that space. You can calm down, you can breathe, you can trust, and it's all going to unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. Think about the last 5 years. You got here. Think about the last 10 years. Despite all the hurt, the pain, all the challenges, you're still here. You're being taken care of. You're being given opportunities. It's not ideal for a lot of you, but there will always be opportunities if you just change the focus, like what you're focusing on tonight. If you just start seeing the good, where you can be grateful, and I'm not talking about fake positivity. I'm saying acknowledge what's not working, but also find the opportunities that are there, the people who are there to support you. I hope this helped you guys out. Thank you guys for tuning in, Gerald, Elizabeth, and Suzette. I'll leave this up on YouTube as well. And there's a quote here, or like a prayer. It says, I said a prayer for you that God would touch you with his healing hand and give you the comfort and strength you need. I want to emphasize the word comfort. A lot of us need comfort tonight, today, but also a lot of us need strength. Madami sa inyo na nakikinig kayo nito, pagod na kayo. I know it. You're so tired. You're tired of fighting. You're tired of shouting. You're tired of staying quiet and not saying anything. That's hurting you. It's hurting you. So I hope and pray that you get to get support and wisdom from people around you, or maybe go beyond people who are around you. And I hope it helps you. Thank you guys for being here, and God bless you. Have a great Holy Week. It's Easter tomorrow. Definitely, there's a cause for celebration, but yeah, but there will always be something that will try to get your attention to make you feel angry, fearful, and judgmental and critical. Watch for those things. God bless you.